Welcome to the Your Leadership Legacy podcast. My name is Tina Paulus Krause, and I'm so excited to bring you this next podcast dedicated to you high performers out there who want to reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, maybe your career, all of it. This podcast is all about being dedicated to transformation and being the best possible leader of yourself and others that you can be in order to create a legacy that lives on. Welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus Krause. I am the founder and CEO of True You Teams. And here we go. Hey everyone, welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus Krause, and I am honored today to have Dawn Tryba with us from Tryba Services. Dawn is a powerful coach and trainer and all the stuff. So I want to welcome you to the show, Dawn.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here. We've been working together now, Dawn and I. Dawn brought me into a couple of things that she's got going on, and as I've gotten to know you, Dawn, I've gotten to see just how incredibly powerful you are. And as I get to know your background and your reason why and everything that you're about, I was like, oh, we get to have you on this podcast. So I would love for you to just introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about Dawn Tryba.
Thank you, Tina. I'm super excited to be with you today. Dawn Tryba, and I started my career, won't date myself, 3+ decades ago. And I was putting myself through college. I was the very first college graduate in my family. And I was putting myself through college while I was working full time. And when I did that, my first job was at a financial services firm. And I was so energized by the people that I met. And I was learning on the job. I was an administrative assistant and I had aspirations. I saw the vision of where I wanted to go. And I knew then that I wanted to be in marketing. So I transferred very quickly to a marketing role, then to a marketing director, a regional role, a national role. And I just, over 23 years, I worked myself up in the corporation. And I really became known as a go-getter and getting things done. And I was the person that they would tap on the shoulders to say, build it, and then they will come. And I was the person that I got inspiration from those around me. And the president and CEO of the firm said to me, we need your help. We want to change the culture in the organization, come into headquarters. And the SVP at the time said, we have this big initiative that we're working on to help credential advisors in retirement planning at the Wharton School of Business, and you can be a major help to drive awareness, adoption, and engagement of those programs. And It was really exciting to me to take the relationships that I established over those years and carry it forward to the next chapter of my life. So I ended up taking a job in Manhattan, and I live in Wisconsin. So I would commute into New York 1 week out of every month.
And that's a commute.
It was a commute. And over the years, I slept better in hotel rooms, by the way. Like my husband would say, he gave me a rule: you can't be gone more than 10 days at a time, because all of a sudden it would just kick in. My self-independence would kick in, and he'd be like, you don't need me anymore. So it was kind of funny. So I started traveling to Manhattan 1 week out of every month, and my team was all around the country. And I would travel to different venues and opportunities. And basically, I helped to build different strategic initiatives in the organization, helped to build this credentialing program with the Wharton School and Harvard University that's still in existence today. Very proud of that. Helped to build a program called Retail Profitability, where they went and looked at branch organizations to see what was making them profitable or not, and bring in a team to help fix it. That's where my consulting hat came in. Yeah. And then also education and marketing, building marketing programs and tools for our internal customers, as well as thinking about biz dev and how to help position them for success in the marketplace. So, long-winded answer, but all of that led me to building knowledge that I didn't even know I was building. And I just kept putting it in my back pocket. And when I went into headquarters in New York, my boss at the time hired me a coach. And he said, the environment is so different than in the field that you need help adapting. And that was life-changing for me. I met with the coach on a weekly basis, and she helped me navigate organizational savviness. She helped me think about how executives think, managing up. She helped me think about delegating without authority. And she opened up my eyes to things that I knew but didn't really adhere to. If that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. And I know that you, like today, I know that you work with all kinds of executives to do that now with them. So talk a little bit about that, because I think that's amazing.
Yeah, so when I had that coach, I learned a bunch of stuff. And let me back up and I'll answer your question. When I did that, I learned a bunch of stuff. And fast forward, I had a bunch of different opportunities: build it, do it, get it implemented, sustainable, move on, build it, do it, etc. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And the brain tumor is on my brain stem, so it's inoperable. Basically, the fluid gets stuck in your brain. And when I heard the words brain tumor inoperable, I was sitting in my car, and it was the only appointment my husband didn't go with me on, because he had gone for 3 weeks on appointments. And I said, just go back to work. Right. And I went out in the car and I called him and I told him. He said, stop. You're lying. Stop. I said, no, it's true. And so they said, right now your ventricles are the size of, they're supposed to be the size of toothpicks. They're triple, quadruple that. We need to send you in for brain surgery. And so they had to
Immediately. So you went right away.
Immediately. They inserted a shunt to alleviate the fluid. So they can't ever remove the tumor. But what that did for me, Tina, is it gave me perspective. And I was at the firm for 22, 23 years, and I could have just taken disability. But I said, no. I walked in and quit. And they said, I sat in my office overlooking Manhattan, and my private driver was outside in the black car. And I sat and I said to myself, who am I? I'm a bad daughter. I am never home into my community. I don't see my friends. I don't see my husband because I travel 90% of the time. And I walked in and quit. So it gave me perspective. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Even looking back, going through, and I've had every vision. So I've had 3 brain surgeries since. But it gave me perspective. And when I did that, I said, okay, I'm going to find the thing that gives me passion. Yeah. And I was reflective and I said, what is giving me passion? It was that coach. It was the building. It was the sustainability of what was in place over all of the years. But I still wanted that guaranteed salary. I was used to, like, the golden handcuffs. I was used to, like, having the private driver and doing all the fun stuff and a good salary. And so I was looking for that guaranteed salary. So I found it, and I had a bidding war, and I went to one organization. And when I got there, the culture was so against my core values. And all of a sudden, another aha built up. And I went,
how did you know that, Dawn? How did you know that they were against your core values?
I drained every single day going in, and I dreaded, and I felt like there was an obstacle in front of me every single time. Like, I would try to move 4 steps forward and there was an obstacle. And I said, something's off. So that was the second aha, or third aha. Like, I need to be aligned with my values, and the culture and the organization has to be aligned. And so I walked in and handed my big fat bonus in, and I quit. And they said, what? You only have to be here 60 days to keep your bonus. And it was 30. And I said, it's not worth it. So I knew at that point, the money wasn't my driver.
Right.
It was the opportunity. It was the contribution. It was the impact. It was another aha for me in my career. Then I got another job. So I got that job 5 years in. For the first time in my career, I was laid off. I had never dealt with that. I have done it. I've been around it, but I was never impacted by it. So my ego went into full flare, and I went, what? I'm a high performer. What do you mean? So I got a little depressed, but I said, I'll jump back on the train. And I started networking and helping people in my natural market with what I learned over the years. Remember those go-tos, those lessons I learned. While I was just keeping myself busy, I was coaching and consulting.
Yeah.
But I needed that guaranteed salary. Got another job, 6 months later, laid off. What?
God's knocking on you, Dawn.
Knocking. Yes. So again, my ego, what? But I went back to my natural market and started helping people, doing the things that give me passion for free. Got another job. 6 months later, laid off. 3 layoffs in 4 years. My ego was blown. I had gained 40 pounds. I was eating ding dongs and ho-hos every day, watching Law and Order.
Oh, funny, not funny. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but like, I feel you.
And I was so depressed because I had realized at that point, I defined who I was by my job.
Yeah.
Not who I was as a person, which is why when I shifted jobs in my core values, that was telling me something. So anyways, fast forward, long answer to your question. Fast forward, I realized that I needed to find that intersection where I had the purpose to help people, to have the process, to use my skills over the time that give me energy and passion, which makes me feel productive and profitable. And that led me to start my own company.
Yeah, I feel like I want to go like this, right? Like I hear perseverance, I hear resilience, I hear power, I hear groundedness. Like there's just so many leadership lessons, Dawn, in your journey. And you talked about perspective. I want you to go deeper in perspective. Like in those moments when you like knew like because when we get that different perspective, we can almost feel it growing, right? And feel it happening. I've got like light coming in and out of my window, but we can feel it happening. And so in those moments, like what was going on with you as you were getting that deeper perspective? Like what were some of the things that are happening?
Wow, that's a hard question. One, I had to keep my emotions in check because when I was depressed getting laid off, I had to balance my emotions. And so I had to say, is this real? What is causing this? I had to look at the root cause. Is the root cause confidence? Is the root cause insecurity? Is the root cause frustration? So what was going on was internal self-reflection to find the cause.
Yeah.
Why did I define who I was by the job? What was I not getting on a regular basis to fulfill me? Why is it that I have to feel the need to help people to feel fulfilled? But that really so what was going on was reflection. What was going on was putting the puzzles together with what it meant to me.
Yeah, it's almost like what I hear you saying is like we kind of flail, right? We're all over the place. We don't know it. And you started like putting the puzzles together and putting the like story together. So talk about today. So today you've brought all this with you. You've got this amazing story. You're with us. Like, how do you bring all of that you have learned into your current practice? Because I know you do amazing things at Tryba Services to support organizations. So what does that do today for them?
So thank you for that. I work in me and the team. I have coaches that I partner with, like Tina, who are experts in this industry. And I help individuals, teams, executives, or corporations from a consulting standpoint. And really what that does is it helps to, so the question was, what does it look like? How does it do it? Say it again.
Well, how do you bring all that, like, how does all that experience and everything that you've gone through support how you help organizations today to move through the change?
It builds a bench. So basically I have quivers now that I can pull out. And it just is, it's interesting because I didn't know what I knew. I didn't know until now. Like someone will say, how did you know that? Oh, that was from 1991 when I had this job, or when I experienced that, and whatever. How did you learn that, and whatever? So it shows up in stories. And I use the storytelling a lot in my coaching and my consulting to resonate with my client. So it comes through from an experience standpoint and quivers that I'm able to pull out when needed. And I'm able to say, okay, what is it? What is it that I know? But I also am very still self-reflective to say, what don't I know? I am not so egomaniac that I have to be all things to all people. I believe in leverage. I leverage Tina's talent because Tina's a rock star at DISC and all things leadership, right? I leverage other coaches because I don't want to be all of that. And for me, leverage is power. So I use all of the stuff where I have gaps. I use leverage, or I invest. I'm a lifelong learner. I have tons of credentials. I have designations on a bunch of different assessments. I believe in learning because it's about the awareness component. But then, as we talk to coaches about, then it's about the action and how we implementation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true because I mean, it's easy we can go to workshops, we can go to listen to podcasts like this one, listen to all this stuff, but if we're not implementing it, if we're not embodying it, then we're not truly growing ourselves or our organization. And I've seen you in action. I've seen you in action and how powerful you are and how you bring teams together. So what I want to do, I want to ask you a question about the legacy, right? Because this is your leadership legacy. And so talk about the intentional legacy that you're leaving. I see it, and it's amazing, but I want you to talk about it from your own standpoint.
For me, leadership isn't just about implementation or in the real time. It is about that legacy. It's about inspiring others to reach their full potential. And that's why I do what I do, but also that's my legacy. I want to know that I've inspired or encouraged. And, it's funny when we have, I'll just go on a general errand with my husband and I can't get the coach consultant out of me. And we'll walk away and he'll say, that cashier isn't your client. And I'll say, I know, but she could be so much better. Right. Or I'll say, I know,
see her.
I see she doesn't know her potential. Right.
Yeah.
And so for me, the legacy component is about empowering others to reach their full potential. And if that's a peer coach, if that is a junior coach, if that is a client, if that is a staff member that's helping to grow my organization. But I can only do that by leading by example, in my opinion. And so I have to live, walk, breathe, do the things that I say we should do or that I coach that we should do without judgment, right? In order to do that. And then that will help elevate, enhance, inspire others. So that's what I want my legacy to be, is to create this transformational journey that has impact. I was concluding a session with a client yesterday, and it wasn't goodbye, but it said, okay, our pilot is ended, we're going to evaluate that, tell me what you've learned. And this person cried and she said, I didn't know, I thought all along I was X, and I realize now that I wasn't broken, I just needed a tweak.
Yeah. Oh, that's so I want to just take a minute and understand how powerful that is, because when life isn't working and it feels hard, we feel broken. Like we tell ourselves a story that we're broken, and nobody's broken. You guys just get to get a little support to figure it out and move to that next level. So I love that you say that. I see the legacy that you're leaving, Dawn. I see your heart. I see your intention. I see the team that you're building and everything that you're doing. And just really proud to stand by your side through it. And I just appreciate everything that you've done for me even so far. And I want to thank you for being on the show. You're amazing.
Thank you. It's super exciting to do the things that we do. I believe that we learn just as much from our clients. And so it isn't a one-sided partnership, and that word partnership means a lot. My partnership with you, my partnership with our virtual assistants, a partnership with the clients, and it's just like you too. If the partnership gets broken, meaning if my clients are not coachable, then it's up to me be the big girl and say it's not working, right? And so thank you for that. But it is about the mutual partnership that people have with people in our roles and in any function that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Where can people find you?
Trybaservices.com, trybaservices.com, or I am on LinkedIn if you'd like to connect. I do a lot of thought leadership and share some valuable resources that people can learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. You're big on LinkedIn and share some really, really great stuff there. So connect up on LinkedIn, find Dawn. She's amazing. Thank you so much for being on today.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. That is this episode of Your Leadership Legacy. We'll see you next time. Bye. My name is Tina Paulus Krause, and I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out our programs and events at trueyouteams.com. And until next time, make it an amazing day.